Hey, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, perhaps even depending on where you're based, and welcome to Live with Cloudera. Let's talk TM Forum Digital Transformation World 2022. My name is Wim Stoop, and I am joined with Anthony Behan as well, all the way from
Hello.
Ireland. Hey, Anthony, great to be here. We're going to talk about a great event later on, but first, just as a quick warm up and to make sure that all of you on the live streams, your chats are working. Uh, we're going to go to Denmark, and
We're going to
one of the things
Copenhagen,
that we
man.
start to think about is what are the Danes famous for? What do you know? So if you're listening, type what the Danes are famous for. And Anthony, we have to think about this. It wasn't as easy as we thought, was it?
Well, Lego, Vikings, then we
Yeah.
started to struggle a small bit, but, what did we come up with? Danish bacon. Yes,
Well,
absolutely.
Danish bacon, absolutely. But we also thought of Danish pastries, which
Which
are
aren't, which
they're
are,
not actually Danish because
they're
in
not,
Denmark they're called Viennese bread. I'll
indeed.
pronounce that no doubt completely wrong,
But
but
they're lovely in both places. So, whatever you call them.
absolutely. And apparently Google Maps was invented by a couple of Danes as well. So thank you for that.
Michael Laudrup and the great Danish football team of 1992. Oh, my goodness, I remember that.
There is that. Yep, absolutely. All
Or was
right.
it
Well,
Brian Laudrup? It was Brian Laudrup, not Michael.
we'll get a call soon. All right, let's jump in. So later on next week, in fact, we're going to be at TM Forum's Digital Transformation World in Copenhagen from the 20th until the 22nd. Now, Anthony, you've been involved with TM Forum for quite some time now. Can you give us a little bit of background as to what they do, who they are, and why it's so important?
When we're really lucky in the telecom industry to have an organization like the TM Forum because when it comes to industry collaboration, some industries are better at it than others, and in telco we're really really good at it, and the TM Forum really is where it all comes together. The TM Forum has been around for 20-25 years, maybe
Wow.
longer. It's an operator led organization, and so the service providers sit on the board of directors and give direction and sort of say, these are the challenges that we need to meet, whether that's digital transformation or network automation or whatever the big thing is. And then the members, the operators first, and then vendors and partners like Cloudera row in behind that kind of mission and help to fill in the gaps. And over the years, there's been, for those of you who've been in the telecom industry for a long time, you'll remember things like ETOM and the SID and the TAM. There were three major components that the TM Forum led. That ETOM was the process map. So if you're doing business process transformation, that was your blueprint. The TAM was the telecom applications map. So if you're building a new telco, this was your map, and these are the applications that you need. And the SID, of course, is the data model. Right, and so this the industry standard data model, if you like. So when it comes to sort of building the infrastructure to run a telco, these are the three big things that you need. They're all now part of what the TM Forum calls the frameworks, and there's a whole series of bits and pieces there. So it's a fantastic collaboration environment. Now, on top of that, of course, they run events as well. And next week's one is the first one in person for 3 years, of course, the first big one, the first annual one. We used to run it in Nice for years, down the south of France, lovely part of the world. And then it was briefly in Dublin, Ireland, my own country. And then back to Nice, and now we're in Copenhagen, which is a new city for TM Forum. But it's going to be great. There's going to be 3,000-4,000 people there, and we're really looking forward to it. So it's going to be a great few days.
That's quite a few people getting together. Now I know you when you joined Cloudera, you had a very strong opinion that Cloudera needed to be part of TM Forum as well. Why was
Yeah.
that?
Well, Cloudera has been active in TM Forum for many, many years. I thought it was important that we become full members and sort of embrace the mission of the forum. Cloudera is, I mean, I'm not sure if it's too large a thing to say that Cloudera is almost the de facto standard in network analytics in telco. I mean, it's just everywhere. The majority of telecom companies around the world are running Cloudera at some part of their network or in some part of their business to help them manage their business. And so, it's important for us to actually engage at this collaboration level and sort of, where the industry is trying to figure out how to, adapt its capabilities for the next generation of technologies. Journey to cloud is a huge one right now. How do you handle how do you manage governance in the context of a shift to cloud, the journey to cloud, and these hybrid environments? Big questions around security, privacy, all these kinds. We should be participating in those conversations. And so, so for the last couple of years, we've been full members and are continuing to build on our collaboration and our commitment and our involvement with the forum. And it's been a tremendous experience.
Yeah. No, telco industry is big on data, and we do data, right? Get your value and insight from that data.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, it's huge.
So I've obviously, you've been to digital transformation world a couple of times. I've never been there. What can I expect? What are some of the things that we do at the event, and that TM Forum does at the event?
So TM Forum there's a lot of, you're going to learn a lot with. And it's funny, a lot of us go to trade shows, or at least pre-pandemic we used to go to trade shows, and it's all about networking and meeting people and sort of getting getting to know about the new products that are coming out and things like that. This is really an educational environment. There's a lot of training actually goes on before and after the conference, and the sessions themselves are really geared towards educating the membership and moving the industry along in a general sense. So there's a lot of different sessions that are going to be going on in parallel. There is a data and AI dedicated track, but there's also tracks dedicated to digital transformation, and the third one escapes me now. I think it's network automation. But there's a lot of different tracks with a lot of really, really great content. There's a lot of side sessions as well. We have a catalyst actually, and the catalysts are really cool. This is this program where they do the TM Forum sponsors public proofs of concept, where you get service providers like Robi Axiata, which is an operator out of Bangladesh, partnering with companies like Cloudera, and we're also partnering with Clarity and Expo, two great partners in the OSS and network management or network monitoring spaces, respectively. And we're doing one on AI at scale. So we're taking a network anomaly detection AI model and sort of working through what it would take to actually deploy that in scale. And we're going to be demonstrating that at the forum. There's a whole catalyst section where there's a whole bunch of different catalysts going on. And so that's going to be that's really hands-on Cloudera machine learning, using machine ML ops processes and so on to do, to automatically trigger model retraining when the performance of the model drops below a certain threshold, things like that. So really rolling your sleeves up and getting your hands dirty, to mix my metaphors, with AI and with data and with processes and getting it all working. So that's the kind of stuff that you can expect. You won't see, if you go to Mobile World Congress, if you're a telco guy like me, you go to Mobile World Congress, you go to TM Forum, it's a very different event. Mobile World Congress is like big booths and, Samsung and Huawei and all these companies with their big shiny stands, and, each of them spending millions and millions of dollars and so on, and, huge exhibition spaces. The exhibition space won't actually be as large here. What will be bigger is the education space, if you like, the theaters, the seminar rooms, all of that kind of stuff. You'll see a lot more of that. There'll be plenty of exhibition space, but it's not the same as Mobile World Congress. Different kind of a vibe here. This is really about moving the industry along.
That sounds incredibly interesting. And if you're listening to this stream and you think that's something for me, I want to see some of those catalysts. I want to take part in some of that training. You can still register for Digital Transformation World. So have a look at the link that we're posting in the chat right now. And if you find the time, if you find the opportunity, it would be great to see you there as well.
Yeah. No, it would be great. And we'd love to see you. We'll sit down and meet with you. If you haven't been to TM Forum before and you decide to come along, we'll introduce you and show you around and introduce you to some of the people. If you're working for a telecommunications company, chances are you're already a member. So you'll be able to get tickets through that. But we have some tickets as well. So if you're working for a telecom company, you're interested in coming along, we can figure out a couple of tickets. One thing actually I wanted to ask you, Wim. I know on the Thursday there's a
Right.
data governance masterclass,
Yes.
and you're speaking at that, aren't you?
I am speaking at that, and it's going to be a tremendous session, hosted by TM Forum. We'll have experts from across the industry, from BT, from TELUS, from Ernst and Young, speaking about data governance. Because of course, if you're thinking about an industry that deals with data to such a degree, not just any data, but oftentimes also very sensitive data. And with rising data privacy regulation, you need to make sure that you govern your data. You've got data being born all over the place. It's in public cloud, it's at the edge, some of it's in your data center. And to be able to start driving value and insight from the data, the first thing you actually need to do is to know and understand what you have. And when we're looking across not just the telco industry, but other data intensive industries, the accelerators, the blueprints for being able to get to that value and insight from your data is modern data architectures. It's the likes of data meshes starting to think about decentralizing all of that data. Or maybe it's around an open data lakehouse, which is about optimizing using the same data for BI and machine learning. But they all key off knowing and understanding your data. So something like a data fabric is a great way of being able to connect all of your data sources to know and understand that data that you have, so you can govern that data, so that you can make it available to more folk inside your organization, for them to ask their business questions, for them to start their machine learning projects, to do their analyses. And as part of our involvement with TM Forum, we crafted a couple of papers on that subject, on data governance, and we'll be discussing those. We'll be widening it out to not just data governance, but also AI ops and the governance of machine learning and artificial intelligence. It's a realm in its own right. It's not something that you just do once and call it good. But machine learned models deployed must be governed. They must be shown to be ethical models, and they also must be managed as a project, and as a product. Exactly, not as a project, because a project is something that you start and you finish and you're done. But a product is something that lives throughout, goes through versions, is continually refined and updated. So I'm very much looking forward to that session. And if you want to know when it is, we've got a link for that as well, so you can navigate straight to the session and come and join me there. I look forward to seeing you.
Yeah, I think that masterclass on at 12 o'clock on Thursday.
Right, 12 o'clock on Thursday.
Yeah,
Copenhagen time.
Saving the best till last, Wim. I think it's one of the final sessions of the event, but it's going to be great. And it's not just yourself, Wim. There's a few other speakers as well from TELUS in Canada. I think Sarah Ness is speaking, and a couple of others too. So that's
Orange is going to be there. I mean, that I think shows really how nice and broad this event is. It's participation of both big providers and experts, subject matter experts in data analysis and data governance that take part in these sessions. And to your point, it's very collaborative, isn't it?
Yeah. And I never mentioned our lunch. We have a special lunch on Tuesday around modern data architecture for telco. We have Miss Jinsu Jang from LGU Plus is flying all the way from Seoul in South Korea to come over and speak with us. And Patrick de Vries flying not so far from KPN in the Netherlands, but flying nevertheless. We're delighted to have him as well. And we're going to talk about the things you just talked about modern data architecture for telco. That's on Tuesday. It's an invite-only lunch, but I think if you're registered for the event and you sign up for it, you'll get an invitation and you can participate. So
superb. We'd love to see that. But Anthony, so moving a little bit further from the event. So you've worked with telco. What's the experience been like with them bringing the Cloudera message to the telcos? Are they switching on to building modern data architectures using data meshes and data fabrics?
Like I said earlier, Cloudera has been part of the telco data conversation for 10 years. Pretty much. It's everywhere in the industry. there's some part of Cloudera there. And so we're part of the new conversations that are happening now. You know, every telco in the world is migrating to cloud. And so the message about Cloudera hybrid data cloud is really, really important. Messages about governance, about data fabric, data mesh that you spoke about, you know, these kinds of things, you know, how you migrate to the, you know, modern data architecture isn't just a thing that you buy off the shelf, right? It's a process, it's a journey, it's a, you know, you got to get there over time. And so figuring out how you get from, you know, an infrastructure where you've got a massive amount of data, you know, and you know, potentially hundreds and hundreds of terabytes coming in every day on top of all of that, and getting that live entity migrated to a new infrastructure that's a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more agile, a little bit more flexible, i.e. the public cloud, while at the same time retaining some of the performance and other characteristics of the on-prem environment. That kind of challenge is something that Cloudera has tremendous answers for, and increasingly we're part of the conversation with our clients about, you know, what that future architecture looks like. It's been tremendous so far.
So it sounds as though there's going to be a long and very fruitful cooperation and collaboration with us continuing TM Forum.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, with its base in open source and the open platform of CDP, that's a tremendous place to start from. And then with capabilities like SDX or the shared data experience for data fabric support, and you know, enabling a data mesh approach to data services and products in telco in the future. You know, the future's bright, as they say. So it's there's a lot of work to do, but the future is looking really good.
Absolutely. Hey, I see that we're getting to about 15 minutes, so we need to tie into this. But are there any closing remarks that you'd like to give before we close off?
No, look, it's like I said, the TM Forum Digital Transformation World, dtw.tmforum.org, if you want to see a little bit more about it. It's from Tuesday to Thursday next week. We've got a bunch of things that we're going to be doing there. We'd love to see you there. You know, please do look us up. You know, ping us on LinkedIn if you want to know a little bit more information. Ping us directly. We'll hopefully get to answer the queries. And if you're in Copenhagen, come and say hi. You know, we'd love to talk to you and help you to learn a little bit more about CDP, about Cloudera, and about some of the work we're doing with other telecom companies in the industry. So
absolutely,
really looking forward.
Yeah, no, indeed. It'd be lovely if we could see you in person in Copenhagen. But at the same time, if you want to continue the conversation, reach out to us on LinkedIn. You'll find us on Twitter as well. And we look forward to continuing the conversation. We've posted a lot of links in the chat as to where to find us at Digital Transformation World, our sessions. We simply look forward to hearing from you. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you find this interesting.
Thanks, Wim. Thanks, everybody.
See you, Anthony. See you next week.
See you next week.